welcome back to Sextras,
where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey.
I'm Maria.
And
I'm Maria's mom.
And what's your
Maria?
name?
Also Maria.
Also Maria.
Yeah, fun fact. I actually hate that when people find out my mum's name. They're like, "Oh, you have the same name," because I hate those families. I hate those families whose mums and children have the same name, or like the dad and the kids, even
But
though
it's
our
not the
family.
same name, yeah.
I know, but my name isn't actually Maria. Just for all the listeners, all the non-real ones, even that weren't listening in season 1 when I said that as a fun fact, that my name is actually not Maria.
Maybe we should bring back fun facts in season 3.
Yeah.
Like alternate the zones of the fun facts in each season. Okay, yeah. So
Speaking of,
what zone are you in?
I think more or less green one.
Okay.
Very
green one.
going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
seem curious a bit. Yeah, excited but very, very nervous.
Okay. Maria? What are you?
I'm probably, I'd say I'm in the green zone. Yeah, just going with the flow as well. I'm going to Paris this weekend for my boyfriend's dad's wedding, so that will be really cute. I'm quite
Cute.
excited for that. So yeah, things are good. How about you, hun?
I think I'm green as well. Triple green.
Triple green, love
Yeah.
it. The vibes are looking up.
Yes. It's summertime. The sun is shining. No more blue zone.
My mum listens to every episode, guys. You
Yeah.
know, she's our biggest fan,
Yeah.
essentially. So, yeah. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe we should start with how you felt when I told you that we were starting this podcast.
Coming from my culture and everything, it was a bit shocking because even just for the word sex, for me, it's just like, oh my God, what are they gonna speak about, or what is this about? But more in a place of ignorance and fear than really knowing what was going to be. So it was surprising, but at the same time exciting, because probably how you dare to speak about it, you know, like all these fears that come along in my thoughts and stuff, but very curious, and also I thought it was really brave. So
That's cute.
for me it was I mean, that very, very brave to just be able to speak about it very openly. And so yeah.
Okay. So, can you tell us a little bit more about you growing up? Like, what kind of ideas you had about sex? And you said, you know, from my culture, just hearing the word sex, like,
Well,
where did
none
that come from?
at all. I mean, nothing at all. It was very punished. It was very, you don't even speak about the word. I mean, not even sex or anything else. The only thing that we had was the typical, you know, education in school, that it was really basic and very religious oriented. So it was like, okay, this is like this and this and this and this, but you are not allowed to do any of this, because you have to get married, and then you can have sex. The sex is only for having kids, and only if you get married. You are allowed to have sex, or I mean, not even speaking about pleasure or whatever. It was really, really punished, and really, really very bad and dirty and all these adjectives, and very traumatized actually, because nothing was really clear. You will never talk about it. In school was really basic, and you hardly understood whatever.
Yeah, because you went to a school with nuns, didn't you?
Yes, but not at the beginning, but half of my middle school. So it was the same. Whenever I started to change and everything, everything started to develop. Obviously, nothing. I mean, no, even that my mom didn't think about the same at all. She struggled a lot because she wasn't never agreed with the kind of education or the things they were telling us in school or even religiously speaking. She was, I mean, totally in the opposite direction. But at the same time, she need to fit in also. So even if she was complaining all the time with school and they didn't like her at all, I mean, nothing changed. She never, I mean, both of my parents, they never sit me down and tell me the talk or anything. They didn't explain anything to me. That was very, I mean, a surprise. But I have to say of my mom, because I think she didn't have the words or how to explain. So she made sure that we had the information in a way of every summer we used to go to California and we went to summer school, and she specifically put us in mental health. I think it was health, and then another of addictions and things, so we can see the world like that. That was her way of showing me, at least, of what was about all the birth control methods, and a little bit of opening of my mind, but without my dad knowing. Yes, it was just like, okay, you went to your health classes and all summer, and you see all the birth control that existed in that time, even also with drugs, with alcohol, with everything. She makes sure that we had all the information in her way, but not sitting with me or explaining to me nothing. But I think it was a good thing, because otherwise my world would turn out to be really narrow and closed off, because that were our beliefs. I mean, all my friends obviously never, and I remember very well after this summer of these lessons that she said, never speak about your summer to anyone, not to your friends, not to your dad, nothing that you learn, never, because then everyone is going to start looking at you very strange.
Oh, wow.
So she said, no, so just keep it, learn it, but don't share it with anyone, not even with your friends, because everyone is going to start looking at you like a whore or something like that, because it was that extreme.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you didn't talk to even like your friends growing up about sex or anything like that? It was just...
No, because if I started talking about, I was a very introvert girl, and I didn't like to share many things, and I think it was kind of part of incongruencia,
like not being congruent.
Yeah. and that everyone will start looking at me, and I didn't want that. So I was really to myself. So the experiences I have at the beginning was for myself. But my friends, I could never spoke about anything. I mean, what we shared was maybe I kissed him or he kissed me, and what kind of kiss was. That was like, wow, no? Or okay, they talk about maybe base 1, base 2, but I mean, never, I mean, home run was like the slot, I never judge friends that came to me or say things. For example, I was really reserved, and actually I was a very good listener in that part, because I never said you shouldn't do that, or never to my friends. And I wasn't that adventurous either, but because I suppose I was more afraid also, and I didn't really care if they think about me anything, but I didn't let them think anything. So yeah.
I see.
Do you think that your friends had like the same questions as you, or did they not even think to ask the questions because it was just like so normal that that was how sex education was?
I think they had many questions
Hmm.
as me, less than me, because at least I had information.
Yeah.
But I didn't share it with anyone. I knew in a way, but they were very judgy. I mean, you couldn't say anything, because even if you trust the friend, you could never trust the friend. I mean, for me it was really hard. And it was more important because I was in a girls' school, so the relationships between girls, and it was a mess.
The
Yeah.
drama.
It really no for me it wasn't really appealing. I didn't have a very good time in my prep school, or even I don't know, later until I got to uni, got liberated, because it was like a gossip. It was a hell in the whole thing. Even you got judged even of not saying anything. I mean, because I used to have a group of men, only men, my brother in it. That was my group of friends, and they were all boys. So I was used to being around and everything, and for me it was very normal. And also they let me go out very young, because I was really responsible, and because I was going with my brother all the time, and my dad trusts me more than my brother, so and they were jealous all the time. So they, even if I spoke to one of the boyfriends at that time, for example, once happened, they started making gossips about me, that I was trying to nick the boyfriend of the, yes, even only for saying hello.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, okay, nah,
it's not worth the drama.
no. And because I was one of the few that had a boyfriend very young, also my first boyfriend was at 14, and I didn't spoke about my boyfriend. They had to ask me, because I didn't want them to know anything, because of the judgment and the whole thing and the gossip, and it was horrible. Your reputation was in stake or whatever. Yeah.
So how did those things that you grew up with and experienced kind of make you think about the way that you wanted to like teach us about it, teach your kids, teach us about sex and relationships? And
well, first of all, I wanted to break the whole thing of not speaking about it in a way, because I wanted to break totally that part. I wished my mother speak about these kind of things. I always wondered, because my mom, I can imagine she was a very happy woman. I mean, not happy. It was cheerful, and she went out every night. She worked. She was a very independent woman, and she was really good looking. So I always wonder, like, oh my God, she must had a lot of men going, for her, but she never spoke about others, because I don't know even if I ask her, because I was really curious, like, Mom, talk me about your ex-boyfriends or who else, and she always answered things like, oh no, I didn't like to have boyfriends. I had many friends because I could go out and I didn't have to stay with one at a time. But I always wondered what else, trying to answer my questions in a way, but she never did. And we never had that kind of talks. And I was really curious, because I was falling in love all the time. And I was really, really active in that space. I was always in love, and in love with the one and the second and the third one, and my mom was like, no, you're just your dad, no. And then, because the path I choose to follow, I didn't want you guys to have the same impression, And for me, it was a curiosity with my mom. And I wished that my mom would guide me in a better way, in that sense, not like the book. No, so that's why for me it was important to open up these subjects, these themes, especially about relationships, and especially about the emotion of falling in love. Not only, I mean, the sex part, let's say, because for me it was kind of dodgy and even traumatic in a way. So for me it was important that you had the whole picture. But because I don't know, and I wanted to speak more openly about sex because I had that gap. I was willing to be open and to learn things, and that's why I think it was important. I knew that we needed to have the chat or whatever. I knew that you knew more than me, obviously, but for me it was more important the hard part, as always has been. More the emotional part than the physical part. So for me it's really interesting to see how you speak and explore, and it's very natural. For me it's very difficult still. So yeah.
Yeah, so because I don't remember like ever talking about sex or anything like that until, I don't know, I wasn't one of those kids that like when I got my period, because I remember you were saying when you got your period you didn't even know what it was. So I definitely knew what it was, and you had definitely talked to me about it. So periods and like puberty and all of those things, but like nothing really about sex. But I do remember you gave me these books and things, and like it said all about it. Do you remember those books? I brought them to school
Yeah,
once.
I remember the books.
Yeah.
But did you talk about relationships and stuff when you still lived in Mexico, or was it like when you moved to the UK that you talked about it together? Because obviously Maria was older at that point, but so that would have influenced it. But like with Jose and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, do you feel like your attitudes changed when you moved to the UK?
Of course, totally. No, everything opened up, and it was freely to speak about it. And I, that's why I was more worried about the values and the heart and the emotions than because the physical part you will get it. That I couldn't show you or teach you anything. But the other part was more to care about. More for me to care about. That you had a nice impression about love and what is falling in love and all the what brings, because for me, I mean the sexual part, I mean the physical part for me wasn't not important at all, because I had to put a blind on my eyes and said no, like no. So I focus more in that part, but the only thing I can teach you, or I'm not teach you, give you was more that part of the heart, of the emotion, or the talking about emotions, feelings, and all over around. No, I don't know. It was really hard. I don't even know how to approach the whole thing, because I had never stop and think about it, or no, that's I don't know. For me, that's why for me your podcast has I'm learning so many things, because I didn't know that existed in my life. Not even, I mean, it's like wow. Like wow, this exists and it's new for me. So yeah.
Do you ever hear things that you're like, oh, I really wish I didn't know that about her?
I suppose, I mean, it's not that I didn't want to know. It is that I didn't knew that existed.
Okay.
So,
but do you not like? Because I mean, I get the whole being open about sex and everything, but do you not sometimes just hit very like too much detail, like detail you don't need to be knowing.
If I'm listening to it, I think I am supposed to be.
No, like I
knowing
actually
it.
think about this sometimes. Like, how do you? Because like, okay, this is actually so awkward for Shane, and he's gonna hate me for this. But like, since you've heard so much stuff about him, and like about our sex life, essentially, like, do you not sometimes like just feel awkward, like when you actually see him in real life, and like you know all these things?
No, I don't think about it. I really don't. I really don't. No.
Okay.
Yeah, like
that's
I
a
know.
relief.
I have never once.
I prefer not to. We just no. I don't think about that part. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like thinking your parents having sex.
Yeah, exactly.
No?
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. Like, I'm open about sex and stuff, but like, I just don't need to know the details about my parents' sex life, for instance.
You make this image in your head that your parents never had sex.
No, but
and it's ridiculous. I mean,
no, but that's not what I'm saying. Of course, I know that that's not true, but like, I also don't need to be knowing about it.
And
But
why
why
do you think?
though?
Why do you think?
Because
Yeah. Why do you think it's that?
so
Why do
like
you think that?
gross.
Why is it gross? That's so rude.
No, I mean, yeah. Well,
No, but it's just certain details about certain people's lives that you don't need to know. That's all I'm
But
saying.
do you think that you just think that because you it's like a societal norm to not know about your parents' sex lives? Like, I reckon if everyone just talked about it, it wouldn't be like, oh, that's so gross or whatever.
I guess.
Because I don't think there's
maybe.
any like inherent thing about the fact that it's your parents. Because that's literally how you were made.
I think maybe it's just because it's like a sexual thing, and like when you think about sexual things, you don't want to be thinking about your parents.
Okay, yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
Like crossing the line.
Yeah.
Of like sex and parents is a bit much.
Yeah.
But it's the same with like knowing about your sex life. Like, I don't want to think about you in a sexual way, but
Yeah.
like I still know all the
Yeah, I
details
guess it's
of your
not.
sex
Yeah,
life.
that's true. Actually, that's true. Okay, but so you kind of just block it out.
yeah. No. Whenever I'm listening to you guys, I'm thinking that it's not you. In many
I see.
points,
Mm.
like I'm hearing any podcast and you are telling about your sexual life, like, but I don't know you. I don't relate to you. That happens very often, so that's easy.
Mm.
And at the same time, there comes another part that it's that I love to listen to you guys because I know I can feel you in a way, so I can follow how are you.
Mm.
That's why I'm hearing you most of the times. I don't care maybe what are you saying or the theme. Maybe the theme doesn't even interest me.
Mhm.
But I just want to listen to you. Because
No,
I
no.
mean, I'm not curious about
Yeah.
many of them. Not many. Some very few actually, because then I like to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always learning all these types and differences, and I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I just listen to hear you, to see how are you, because maybe this is the only way I know how are you.
Mm.
So
That's
for
true.
me, it's another way to see it. So I can really feel if you are sad or not, or you're struggling with something. That's the way, only to hear you, the way you are talking, or if you are interested, or I don't know, or your point. I love to see your points of view. So I'm learning about you in a way, not in a scandalous way, or like, oh my god, I didn't need to know that, or I don't get the details. I don't care.
Yeah.
I go deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think
you can feel free to keep on talking? I will not remember anyway.
Do you think since you've moved to the UK and like since seeing how your kids have kind of talked about sex or like learned about sex, it's changed like how you talk to your friends about sex now, or like how you talk to, like, just think about other people's kind of views on sex.
Yes, of course. No, I want them. For me, it was a huge opportunity for them to be free themselves, whoever they choose to be,
Mm-hmm.
or and it was in everything, in every way possible. So, and also for me, the opportunity to start asking questions and talking, and maybe even in my own life, no, to explore, to discover, to, I don't know, to start loving more my body, myself, how I looked, or loving myself basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, I think I was just only for the outside. I was totally focused in. There was a time that I was focusing my kids in their needs and whatever, but with this opening of everything, I mean everything, I've been able to know myself better and to love myself better.
Mhm.
So yes, it changed totally. It was a huge opportunity. It was like coming to life. The opportunity to be myself
Mm-hmm.
and to be myself, to ask whatever I wanted to ask,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a gift.
Mm.
Really,
What's different about raising kids in Mexico and in London?
no, a total difference. Yeah. First of all, the opportunity, giving them the opportunities to open their minds,
Mm-hmm.
and to starting from religion. Come on, we have many religions, and we only knew Catholic religion.
Yeah, I always say this. Like,
So-
before I moved to the UK, because we went to a Catholic school, I fully believed like that the only religions in the world were you could be a Catholic or a Jew. Like that, those were the options.
Wow,
And being a Jew was not good, let me tell you. Like,
that's wild.
yeah, and then I moved to the UK, and it was like, oh, there's so many other things going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. I wanted my kids to learn about, to be more tolerant, to not learn that competition is everything, material things, to open up their minds so they can open up the world in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a life saving, even for me.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning from me. I mean, the third day I was living here, I felt like I was freedom, like freedom. I don't have to tell anyone what I'm doing, where I'm going. It was just like freedom, and I could think, I could say whatever came to mind without any prejudice,
Prodigious.
or anything. It was just like, wow, what I was doing, living in this little cage, bubble, whatever. My life totally changed, and I came back to life. I was living death, really, in Mexico. And it wasn't, I love Mexico, but the way we were living, and the way the families and the society and everything, that how it goes, it was killing me. Me, like that. So here was like, wow, like an opportunity to become whatever I wanted, to do whatever I wanted. I mean, not all the compromises that we had with families and friends and all these pretentious whatever. I was so fed up.
Mm-hmm.
Even with coffee mornings with the moms. Oh God, talking about maids and the novels in the TV and all this nonsense for me was like really empty and really very bad. So for me, coming to this world that I could do and be whoever I wanted, and my kids also, to see them grow and read and really be tolerant with everyone, and all these opportunities that just came open, was amazing. Was the best decision in my life. So it changed completely.
Mm. What do you think the reason was that you felt so just like, I don't know if trapped is the right word, I don't want to like speak for you, but was it because there's like a set idea of how things should be, like the way you should be a parent or like just be as a woman, or what's the
Yes, totally. I mean, the expectations were very high.
Mm.
And I choose this life, and I was supposed to be and do and all the things that were expected for me to do. Did them.
Yeah, you did.
I did them, and it was tiring.
Mhm.
I mean, and also very empty. There was a point that it was really empty. No, it was nowhere else to go or to grow or anything. I mean, you get the picture. I mean, you do what you are supposed to do. You got married, you get the kids, you are the perfect mom, the perfect wife, everything. I got everything. And for me, changing of a country, that all that's why I'm saying it's freedom. It's I was doing what I was supposed to do for all the expectations that
you got
were
to break outside the mold.
That's right. So for me, that's why was the best thing for me and my family. I wanted to raise a family with values, but not that limited. I mean, not that false, all pretentious, and I don't know.
Or like a facade.
That's exactly.
Mm.
So that was the main difference.
Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring Sextras.
Yes, we're so excited to be working with them, especially because they really put a lot of focus on men's health and letting them take charge of something that we all know that they often neglect, which is, maintenance, grooming,
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Just general well-being. They're not great at that.
But Manscaped is here to save the day.
They are indeed. And they have sent us this beautiful Performance Package 4.0. It comes in this little wash bag and it includes a whole load of goodies to get your mans on the right track. We've got the Lawnmower 4.0, which uses skin safe technology. It has ceramic blades, so it just prevents all those ingrown hairs, any nicks and cuts. And it has a little LED light so you can see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then you can go in with the Crop Preserver, which is a ball deodorant. Right after that with the Crop Reviver, which is a ball toner. And these are basically just going to prevent irritation, any redness, again, those ingrown hairs. And on top of that, just have everything smelling incredible.
And then to make sure you can smell how beautiful it smells, we've got the Weed Whacker 4.0, which again uses that skin safe technology. It's a nose and ear hair trimmer just to get it all nice and tidy in there. Sometimes there's just like that little stray hair and you hyperfixate on that when you're talking to men. Just carry one of these around with you so you'll never be distracted from the wise words of men ever again.
And wrap your perfectly groomed balls in these super soft anti-chafing boxes. And yeah, it just all comes in this little wash bag. It's absolutely incredible. So go to manscaped.com and use code SEXTRAS20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping.
That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code SEXTRAS20. Go check it out.
And what's it been like to raise 4 kids? 4 kids is a lot.
That's another podcast. Completely.
Yeah, I mean, because you've been a mum now for 23 years. And what's it been like raising 4 kids?
It's been amazing. I mean, it's been amazing to see them grow and so independent and so their own. You are so different. So I learn from you every day. And it's been amazing, but not I I think I changed the way I mean before. I thought maybe my happiness was depending on you guys, 100%, and I don't know, changed completely, because now I know that my happiness it's my own, and that you are individuals, and you are your own by your own, that I'm just sharing the space and just company in your own lives, but I can't do anything for you guys. So that changed a lot. And these decisions and changes make me think differently and live differently, and it's amazing. So it's been amazing having this task to raise these 4 kids, but now it's more exciting to see them go and let them go also. That's another thing, but yeah, to let them go and grow and see their own lives, that I mean I'm happy to share, but not to impose or to say they will leave whatever I didn't leave at all. So that's really something adventurous and exciting to watch. So yeah, I'm happy.
But with raising 4 kids, and you know how you were saying that before you had this idea of like happiness coming from us rather than from yourself and whatever, how have you been able to, or how have you found a way to sort of live your own life and be your own person outside of just being mum? And like, have you ever felt in your life like you were just mum and you weren't there, it was you were just a mum, you know? Because having 4 kids, I can imagine.
No, yes, of course, yes, and all these things, if I have a profession or I'm something else, or that's why I was confusing a bit my happiness or depending on you all the time. But when I realized that no one can, not even your dad or nothing, that your happiness is yourself, you're doing. So everything changes. I mean, everything looks different, and it's been a journey. It's not like from one day to another you find out or you realize. It's just like finding yourself and then losing yourself again. From time to time, is losing yourself and finding yourself again, and a lot of work inside, and trying to love yourself in a way, and that love yourself in every little thing that you do, and trying to be present. I don't know, very simple, with speaking with your heart, following your intuition than your mind, all these things, like really flow and trust, that kind of thing. But it's a personal journey, I will say. How I got there? I don't know. Yeah, when I started to look at myself instead of outside, I start my journey, I suppose, or I don't know. And it's ups and downs. It's not the same all the time. And there are days that you are more low and you are more affected of everything that it's happening. But generally and lately, it's more. I can observe in myself where I'm down or up, but it's more I'm observing myself. I'm curious also of how I react. And I'm working about not reacting, actually observing what is happening and what it really feels right, and trusting that instinct that for many, many years I didn't. More my intuition, and try to quiet my mind, because it tricks me a lot. Yes. So I'm trying to break all these old ways that you are supposed to be doing, tune, 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 like no? And just to shut these expectations that are coming all the time. And well, I'm still in that in that path.
Do you think that's kind of changed? Because when I first met you, you were like very Catholic, and like now you're kind of more spiritual. If that's how,
Yes.
I don't know how you would describe yourself, but
Yeah, no, well, when you get to a place that you don't know,
Mhm.
you stay with what you know.
Mhm.
No, at the beginning it was like that. I was always really more spiritual than Catholic, let's say, to follow the rules of the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
More like that. Even I didn't agree, never agree for many rules of the Catholic Church.
Mhm.
I was always like really a more rebel, but it was more a spiritual and an inside thing.
Mhm.
And the way for me to get there, or my security, was with these rituals, let's say. Rituals of going to mass and doing all these rules or these little things that make sense. And whenever you feel more secure, you start searching meaning in many different things. And for them and for us, it was the only structure that we knew.
Yeah.
So at least it's not a way of controlling, but a way of
Ordering.
putting together.
Mm.
This was it makes sense when we just got here to keep on doing what we were doing, because it felt secure
Yeah.
for us. And that's a big change, because when we arrive here, it's just like you just have your family to hold on. I left my friends, my family, whatever, everything. But what happens is that your family becomes your rock. I mean, and because they were little also, the best way we found to do that was to keep on following. But we changed from the Catholic to the Church of England. That was really different. And slowly we loosen up, and then we became really mad spiritual in another way. So yeah, but I suppose we had it in us since the beginning, because Eve was your dad
was my dad.
Yeah, Eve, yeah. Your dad was worse than my family.
Oh yeah, my dad
Upbringing.
was like really,
Very
really
bad.
religious when my parents got married.
That in itself was like kind of part of that journey of kind of breaking down the expectations of
Oh yes.
what you had to fulfill and stuff like that.
Oh yes. And every time we went back, we were going off the rack every time. Every return was more difficult and more difficult to fit in. And right now it's practically impossible. I mean,
No, now they have like a whole new group
Yeah.
of friends. I mean, they're saying every time we go to Mexico, it's harder to fit in. But from our perspective, it's every time they go to Mexico, they make more cuckoo, like, spiritual friends.
Yeah, but
And
it's just
they
like
come
that
up with
you
a whole
found your people. Like before, it was like you can't fit in with like who you were used to before, but like now it's just a new kind of
yes,
perspective.
very different. You don't fit in anymore.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you have so much differences,
Things have
and
changed so
you
much,
you
yeah.
will never stop loving those people. Never. I mean, my friends sustain me a lot. I mean, and I have practically my same friends since I got here. But we change. So all these differences start going and growing. So life separates you. And the people that is not supposed to be near you, they leave. Not in a bad way, because we still love them and see them from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that you can really share from your day by day. And lately, for me at least, is day by day. The most important thing is what I'm doing today. And I'm trying to keep on this path, but it's more difficult. to
keep
Yeah.
those connections going.
yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's fair enough. I get that. I think everyone feels that to some extent, and I feel
Yeah.
like, of course, if there's a whole culture in between you,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah,
things
no, I
become a
can't
little
even
bit more.
imagine that.
But yeah, what has it been like to be married for so long? To have been with someone for so long?
It's been a great adventure. Yes, because you never stop. I mean, and how your father changed, how that changed. Oh my God, it's just another person totally. So it's a surprise every day. It's really fun. It's fun to be discovering and knowing this person every day. It's an adventure every day. Every day that I wake up is just like a choice. I choose to be here and I'm happy. I'm choosing every day to keep on being here. And because we really learn how to connect and to communicate now, so it's more exciting every day just to see a different people every day. Even if you think you know him, you don't, because you are not supposed. I mean, I'm in this stage that I'm not supposing anything. He's very surprising, and he's so different from the beginning that I'm very excited to know him every day. I'm curious and not bored. I suppose if I get bored someday, or I don't know, will change. But really, it's a really a choice you make. I think marriage or staying with someone, even if it's not marriage, it's a choice you have to do every day. And it's a work you do every day. It's not for granted at all. And also it's a choice you have to ask yourself if you are really happy or not really happy. And there are gonna be days that you hate him, and there are days that you really love him, and days that you don't want to even look at him, or it's everything. But it's freedom, liberty. That's what I think. We are in this point that we have this freedom to have this choice. But it's a choice you do for yourself, not not in the direction of the other person, if the other person is gonna feel good or not. No, you really need to ask yourself if you are happy. And maybe it could pass 2 days and you don't speak to him, or I don't know, and and nothing happens. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Yes. And with more communication every day, because for us it's been a big journey of communication. That was our worst thing to be, but I think we're doing fine. So yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we should kind of finish by I'm curious if there's any advice you would give to your younger self, because you were saying how you really internalized all of these ideas of and you were always falling in love, so how what would you tell your younger self now from what you've learned, and also what would you tell us or people our age that are listening?
I think follow your heart. Always follow your heart. Follow your instincts. Trust your instincts, and do what your hearts tell you. Never go for the expectations that someone else have for you, or I think that was something that I would love to hear, maybe. Of that, of trust yourself, trust what your heart is telling you, and just go with it. Even if you make a mistake, it's your mistake. And you will learn always from it, always, even if it's a bad thing or a good thing, and everything is in your mind, and it's not. You can create whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can tell you what to leave or who to love, or no one.
Mhm.
The only one that knows is you. And show up every time. It doesn't matter. Show up for you. Show up for you always. You are the most important thing. No one, no guy, no dad, no one, no friend, no one. Show up for you, and that will make the difference.
Mm.
I think that's the most important thing you could do. And always try to be here now. It's only the thing that exists, nothing else. Yeah, with joy and everything that comes, even the worst things. I think everything happens for a reason, and you always have something to learn from every situation. Just have the guts of trust and be responsible for your thoughts, for your feelings, for everything, and everything will be perfectly fine. Nothing worse can happen if you really trust your heart.
Mm.
So yeah.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
One of your questions was that why was important for me to talk to you when you were 15 about
Oh yes, we didn't even talk about this at all.
No, but no. I just wanted, I am curious to know if for you, how did I did? Yeah. Because you know the answer.
So basically
Yeah.
So I said that I don't remember talking about sex very much, growing up. But when I was 15, me and my mum went on this trip to Budapest, just us two. And she told me, like, all about her ex-boyfriends, like, her past relationships. Kind of like her story of, like, love and sex and relationships up until, like, she married my dad, essentially. So how did you do? I mean, I remember, like, that was the first time that I ever, like, saw my mum as, like, other than just my mum, Like, I saw her as, like, an actual person that had a life before everything and, had experienced things and whatever. So, I don't know, I have a very good memory of it. I do feel like I do remember it as this, like, conversation that opened up a lot of, like, oh, okay, this is okay if I talk to my mum about this, and, like, it's okay if I want to talk about this. So you did very well, I would say.
It worked.
Yay.
You see, that's why it's important for me. It was important for me.
I mean, I was asking her about this yesterday, why, like, she sort of decided to do this, and she was saying a little bit like, well, I didn't really know, like, I still found it awkward to, like, talk about, and, like, I didn't know what to say or how to bring it up, so I felt like talking about my experiences is a good way of opening that door up. And it is really true, like, when you don't know, that's like a really good way to sort of, like, invite a conversation from someone, like, open up about your version of, the events or whatever, and then that it opens up that door for sure. And, like, I really felt like that door was open. So
I wanted to always to break that thing, and the only way you can do it is talking about you. And if you always talk about you and your feelings, everything will open up. With others, and this kind of conversations, this deep conversation that you want to have, if you open up first, because that's the only thing you know. No, if you start asking, you will not get nowhere. It's just like freezing. But if you start talking about you, about deep issues, or what was for you, or that's why I love to hear you. Because you are talking about you, and that's the best way to know someone. and to open up to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I did it like that, but I think it was the best way. And remember that we started saying with questions. I ask you one question and you ask me one, but you have to be true.
Oh, yes.
You have to say the truth.
Uh-huh.
So we started with really light questions, and then at the end we're really...
Wait. Was this when you were dating?
No, it was before. It was before. But it was when I liked her, definitely, because I remember I posted a picture from that trip and she liked it, and I was like, oh, no. But I don't think I told you about it.
Yeah, did you know that they were dating?
I ask you if you were still a virgin. First I ask you if you like someone. And I ask you, then after I ask you if it was a boy and a girl. And you got very nervous and said, you said, because you had the chance to say maybe or not, like kind of that, or I don't wanna answer.
Uh-huh.
I like, and you told me and then you told me another guy, but I don't remember the name, and then you didn't say a girl, but you imply it in a way.
Okay.
I make the right questions, I think, but yeah, you were pretty, and your face was
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh no, she didn't really accept the fact, but she didn't deny it.
Okay.
So I was starting to make my
Your connections.
Yes.
Yeah, I love how she thought she was being so sly and secretive.
What do you mean? I'm actually the worst person. I haven't, been crushing on someone in so long. Like, it's been so long that I've been in a relationship that it's like, I just forget how bad it is. Like, I get so extra. Like, I get so obsessed. But anyway.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying this whole time. I swear I say it all the time, and you're like, no, but you, honey, you're so obsessive, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no. I think you've just forgotten.
No, she's very dramatic and passionate. She's like, dying.
That's so funny that I lied. Like, because I definitely liked her at that point, because I fully remember the thing about the Instagram picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. God. But thank you so much for coming on, Ma.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Did you enjoy it more than
Yes.
you expected? Okay, good.
Okay.
Good. And
Nice.
thank you for your words of wisdom.
Yes.
No, your words of wisdom. I learn every day from you guys.
Oh no.
No, really.
Ma.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for listening, guys, and I hope you liked listening to my mum and you got to meet her. Lucky you guys. But don't forget that we are going to be having a meetup on the 25th of June, and that's going to be from 1 p.m. onwards in Hyde Park. And you can catch all that information in our Instagram. That's Sextras Podcast, and it's also on our Facebook, which is also Sextras Podcast, TikTok Sextras Podcast, Reddit Sextras Podcast, and on the website you can also find everything that we talk about, all our episodes. It's all categorized. That's www.sextraspodcast.com. And anything else, honey?
Make sure to go check out our sponsors for the
Oh,
episode.
absolutely.
And please leave us a rating, as it's near the end of the season. We would love a little present. You can leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify now, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go do that. And other than that, we will see you for our
Next.
last episode of the season.
The last episode.
Next Tuesday.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi, produced by Mabel Productions.